workers or our human capital in the country. So based on statistic in 2019, Malaysia has about 15 million workers. It's quite a lot, 15 million workers. And this human capital is a very important asset to the country to spur Malaysian development. And Malaysia spend about 30 billion ringgit every year to develop human capital. So this may not include investment by industry. So this actually is a lot of money to develop human capital. So this is to ensure that our human capitals or our workers are skillful and productive. So we as OSH practitioner must play very important role to protect this human capital, to ensure they are healthy, most importantly productive, by ensuring they are working in safe and healthy working environment. So it's a very, very important function of OSH practitioner, because all workers are exposed to risk, and this risk must be effectively controlled. So this is our rule actually, it's a OSH practitioner rule. So in Malaysia, HIRAC is very common. We know about HIRAC. So we have to identify hazard identification. We have to do risk assessment and risk control. So OSH practitioner must play their role to ensure they can apply HIRAC very, very effective. So if we based on the accident statistic in Malaysia in 2018, because 2019 still we can issue the 2019. So just based on 2018, we have 611 fatalities. It's quite a lot, 611. It's about 2 fatalities a day. And we have 97 accidents per day and about 20 occupational disease a day. So actually, we still have a big challenge, all of us, OSH practitioner, authority, and others. So if we convert to productivity loss calculation, so based on the fatalities as well as accident in 2018, actually productivity loss is about close to 1 billion ringgit. It's quite a lot. And if we compare to our Social Security Association, they paid about 1.15 billion to the workers and also to the family of the workers. That's only the tip of the iceberg. The actual loss actually based on the study by ILO is about 4% of GDP. If we take our GDP and we convert, if we time by 4%, actually is we lost about 56 billion in terms of money. So all of us, OSH practitioner, must perform professionally so that we can improve risk control at the workplace. So in Malaysia, there is a legal requirement to have OSH practitioner. If, for example, we take from the old Act, the function to take care of the machinery, we call it steam engineer, a crane operator, a lift competent person. Although this is towards the machinery safety, but their contribution actually towards safety of the workers as well. So this is from the Practice Machinery Act, and from our construction regulation. So we have a site safety supervisor, and many other designated person like scaffold and other person. And also, there is a list of competent person. We call it OSH professional in our law. We call it a competent person, like in our Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, like a safety and health officer. That's a more general OSH, and we have a specific OSH like noise risk assessor, CHRA, and also major hazard competent person. So this is the requirement of the law to have these practitioner to advise the employers to ensure the risk controls are effective in the workplace. So if we just based on the numbers, like for example, we call it under safety competent person. Another one is another part is on the health competent person. So in Malaysia, we have about 5,000 active SHO or safety and health officer. We have almost 500 leave competent person, steam engineers. So we about 8,000. We have a steam engine driver, about 5,000, crane operator and scaffolders. This is about the statistic. So they play major role to help the industry, to help the employers, to ensure that they advise on effective risk control to make the workplace safe to everybody. This from the health side, because safety and health should be balanced. So that's why we also introduce competent person under the health wing. So we have about 1,000 occupational health doctor, CHRA about 136, hygiene technician, and also hygiene technician 1 and 2. And we have quite a number of authorized gas tester and entry supervisor. So this is about the statistic that we, because most of the competent person must be registered with DOSH. And this is a little bit on the roadmap. Start with the training on the education side, and so there are many diploma, degrees, and master in OSH. And then definitely, like university, they have to get approval from the Malaysian authority when they want to carry out a degree or diploma in OSH. And also, there are many training providers using proof module to train, for example, like a safety and health officer, site safety supervisor, and all that. And also, we take from the experience sides. Those who have a very good experience also can be OSH competent person. And so we go to number 2 is when they are practicing it. Of course, OSH practitioner is governed by law, as I mentioned earlier. And we also control the person so that they, we want to make sure that they attend a continuous education program, like today's seminar. I know that is considered as continuous education program. And their duties, like SHO, they have to prepare a report. Sometimes we ask them to submit the report, and also we want to make sure that when there is an accident at the workplace, they do the investigation and all that. And in Malaysia, we have OSH Professional Association, like MOSPA, MSHOS, MIHA, although it's not enforceable, but this is in the future. If OSH professional body become very professional, so maybe the registration of competent person, control of competent person is done by the body. So towards the end, I will share you with my experience with the professional engineers body. So maybe we can benchmark with that association. so that in the future, in the near future, in Malaysia, we have one body to control all the OSH practitioners. So these actually, as I mentioned earlier, OSH practitioner play a very important role to ensure we can take care of the 15 million workers in the country. If they are very professional, they are very experienced, and definitely, they can contribute to making the workplace safe. So to be a professional is very, very important. So that's why, if we talk about professional conduct, OSH practitioner must be alert if there is a law requirement, the new requirements, or the new code of practice guidelines. So they must be aware, that there is a new thing come in. And number two, a professional OSH practitioner must serve with openness, honesty, and impartiality. Because in OSH, normally, as a practitioner or as a regulator, we always talk about blood, limbs, dead body, and all that. If something's not right, the implication of the impact is actually loss of life, loss of limb, and all that. So the OSH practitioner must really honest to when they do their activities or whatever. They must do it professionally and effectively to ensure that the risk is controlled. It's very, very important. And another one is treat others with respect and without discrimination. This is to show that they are professional. And definitely, from time to time, OSH practitioner must continually improve their knowledge, their skill, their experience, because we are facing a new hazard, for example, new risk, like for example, like COVID-19. This is a new risk that maybe the new way of controlling that risk. And if there is a code of conduct, professional OSH practitioner must be, abide to that code of conduct. And also, OSH practitioner must cooperate and support, like DOSH as an authority. So we need inputs from practitioner in order for us to make our regulation effective. We want to make our good guidelines and all that. So that's why we need a lot of input from the OSH practitioner. Okay, this is the way forward. I think we're talking with MSOS, MOSPA about the way forward. This maybe the possibility to establish OSH professional body in Malaysia. So hopefully this will come very soon, and so that we have a special professional body to control or to monitor the performance of the OSH practitioner. And number two, so maybe as I mentioned earlier, now we are controlling DOSH is registering all the computer person, and later on we will give to the professional body so that they are controlling their members. So this is the way forward that we are discussing with the OSH NGOs. The thing that we want to do in the near future, and also we have to help the employers, to create awareness among employers, because a lot of SHO, for example, complain that they are not being really supported by employers. So if we can engage with the employer, they know our rules, and they know that we are going to help them actually to ensure the workplace is safe. I think they will cooperate with us. And also the collaboration, as today there are many country involved in the seminar. I think the collaboration within and also outside the country is very, very important, so that we can benchmark, we can change experience, we can share our experience. So this is been practiced by many other professional bodies. So they have, you know, some they have like, you know, members recognized by, you know, other countries. So that's also the way forward that we are thinking of. Okay, this just to make a comparison, because I'm also a member of the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Is actually Board of Engineers Malaysia is a statutory body under the registration of Engineers Act 1967. I'm a member of this Engineers Association. So what's the role of Board of Engineers Malaysia? What is their responsibility? So their role is very simple. It's a registration of engineers, engineering technologies, inspector of work, professional engineering services provider. So if, for example, in the future, we have a board or the body on OSH, so this is, maybe we can benchmark with this Board of Engineers to register safety and health officer, site safety supervisor, occupational health doctors, and many others in the as a OSH practitioner. And beside registration, the Board of Engineers also regulate the professional conduct and practice. So I think this is very important. You know, if something is not right, BM will take action. You know, so the BM will regulate professional conduct and practice of registered person in order to safeguard the safety and interest of the public. I think also this one can be, you know, can be put in the so-called our future body to control OSH practitioner in Malaysia. I think in other countries they have sort of a body to control OSH practitioner. This will be on the function of BM, maintain the register. So at the moment, like for example, all the OSH practitioner, the registration is done by DOSH. So we have a list of the name, the address, the IC number of SHO and others. So like for example in BM, they maintain the register of professional engineers, credit engineers, engineering consultancy practices, accredited checkers, professional engineers practicing certificate, engineering technologies, and inspector of work. So all done by this Board of Engineers. And also the process of application for registration, examination and qualification committee conduct professional assessment examination. So at the moment, all is done by, you know, by IOSH exam and all that. You know, if you have this in the future, if you have this equivalent OSH practitioner body, I think it is good, you know. And also the assessment of academic qualification. So we in BM involved in the evaluation of curriculum facilities and quality management system, and we have a dialogue with the management, academic and support staff, student and industry stakeholders. I think this is very good. So if we can benchmark our future OSH future body, professional body with BM or other professional bodies like, you know, doctors, lawyers, and so that, because we others also, they have their own professional bodies and to check the quality, the professionalism of their own professional. And this is the another one is very important, as mentioned earlier, to regulate the conduct and ethics of the engineering profession. So see the impact, warrant suspension or cancellation, or give appropriate action or advice. So at the moment in Malaysia for OSH practitioner, so we can take like, you know, this is we can take action from the point of regulation point of view, because, like for example, safety and health officer, we have a special regulation on that. So if they don't comply to that regulation, actually we can take action on that. But if we follow BM, they have their own way of controlling their members. And also they also involved in, if for example later on, like for example engineering consultants, so they want to give service, what are the fees that they have to charge. And so we also have a special minimum to maximum scale of fees. And so this is also very important later on in the future if you have OSH consultant. So how much they're going to charge? So maybe the body can fix the scale of fees. And of course, they are published publication like magazine and all that. Promotion of continued learning of education. This is very important. So I think this is one of the body that we can benchmark to ensure that our OSH practitioner in Malaysia become really professional, so that they can give proper advice to ensure the workplace is safe, the risk control is effective. The aim is to ensure the workplace is safe, workers are happy, workers are not facing uncontrolled risk. Workers, we can prevent accident, we can prevent a fatality. That's actually the outcomes. So whatever we do, we want to make sure that OSH practitioner can perform up to the expectation. I think, guys, that's all I want to say. Thank you very much. If you have some question, if I can answer, I can answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuan. So from the floor, anything you guys want to ask? Do you have any question? We see at the chat group is all obtained for the certificate. So do you guys have any question for Tuan Haji Omar? All right, so I believe that everybody is very thank Tuan Haji Omar and very fruitful the information from Malaysia to provide everyone. So thanks a lot, Tuan. We have another. So if anything, no issue, you guys still can WhatsApp or email to us. We will forward accordingly. We would like to invite request this slide. Is it possible share with us?
Can.
Thanks. No issue. So after this, we will going to share this slide in our Facebook.
Hello, KK.
Yes.
Okay. May I raise a question?
Yes. Yes, Dr. Ho.
You may proceed with your question.
CM Ho. Your unmute your voice.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Director Omar, as a foreigner, can I practice in Malaysia as a safety practitioner?
Again, I can't hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. As a foreigner, can I practice in Malaysia as a safety officer or safety supervisor or safety practitioner?
Okay, our regulation is very strict. For example, SHO is only for Malaysian citizen. But in the future, if like if you want to be a consultant, I think should be no problem, as long as you can give advice to the employers. Yeah? But you cannot be a safety and health officer registered with DOSH. Okay.
Yes. Well, if I go to apply a MM2H next week, can I work in Malaysia as a safety practitioner?
Practitioner.
Yeah.
If you want to practice nowadays, you don't have to apply to DOSH, but definitely you have to apply for work permit if you want to work in Malaysia.
So the first step is to apply a working permit.
But
Okay,
nowadays you can give advice by online, so
Yeah.
you don't have to go to the workplace. You are in Hong Kong, you can advise employees in Malaysia or in other countries.
Yes,
So-
thank you, Director. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. So from the floor, anything?
Let me check in the chat room.
Right. If no any questions, so we go to for the next speaker. So thanks a lot, Ayah Haji Omar Bin Mat Piah, Director General from DOSH Malaysia. Thank you a lot. So Tuan, we still have another section until 11:30. If Tuan got time, still can sit with us and witness our web. Thanks a lot, Tuan. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Give a time for Tuan.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
Mr. Leong. Mr. Leong.
Yeah.
Mr. Leong.
Who is this?
Yeah, I'm Ramesh, but my video I can't open.
No issue. You unmute yourself first. I believe that later CK will be on your camera. Thanks, Ramesh.
Okay.
All right. So thanks a lot again for the IR Haji Omar Bin Mat Piah. Right. So for second speaker, we would like to invite Mr. Jason Ock, as committee member IOSH from Singapore branch. So today we supported from IOSH Singapore branch as well. And Mr. Jason also is a principal consultant DFS professional from company OSH Safety Consultancy PTD and LTD. So his topic will be design for safety DFS towards Vision Zero. So Jason, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Are you able to share the slides?
Yes, there's the floor for you.
Okay.
We have 100 participants with us at the moment.
That make me
So
very
far, the
nervous.
enrollment we have 222.
All right. So share your full screen. There we can see.
Yeah, the screen is clear.
Good
So
morning,
thanks a lot.
everybody. Thanks for the organizer to invite me. I'm representing IOSH today to share with you Singapore perspective of design for safety and towards Vision Zero. I'm sure that some of you are quite familiar with these topics. Basically, I just want to give you an overview because half an hour to share the details, it is almost impossible. So let's look at the overview of what we are heading in. I think it's important. This is the direction Singapore is moving. And if we can manage to find a red dot, that's where we are. We are just a small red dot, but we believe we can influence safety and health. So workplace safety and health 2028, that's where the direction Singapore is heading. If we look through the past 14 years, back in 2004 until 2018, in fact 2019, you can call it 15 years, our fatality rate had dropped tremendously from 4.9 to 1.2, 100,000 workforce. So you can see we have moving very aggressively. Why? Because we believe one is just too many. We really have to save life. And we have set up national strategies developed in 2005. We call it WAPOSHP 2015 and so 2018. So this is a person that really passionate about safety and health. I'm sure you know this person. It's none of our ex-commissioner. Now he is the Senior Director of International Workplace Safety and Health. And of course, now the baton has passed to our new commissioner. For those who are yet to know him, and I'm sure Mr. Osman, you are going to see him very soon. This is our your new partner, so-called. He announced to be Mr. Silas Sung, the new commissioner, taking over in 1st April 2019, last year. If you're talking about design for safety and Vision Zero, these are the few people you will see them very often, especially Mr. Chan. He is a man that actually driving design for safety and Vision Zero in Singapore from the start, even until today. So I just quickly run through some of the very important figures that actually drive and move safety and health in Singapore. That's able to make us to be a safer place. And why we need to revamp our safety and health. If you know, back in the 2004, we have this very serious accident. That's the Sneako Highway that's collapsed. And that resulted a lot of changes in Singapore. And we believe that we want to transform from factory acts to performance-based. That's where the Workplace Safety and Health Acts started in 2006. These are the three very important key principles that we are driving even until today. Back in 2006, we came out with these three very fundamental key principles: reduce risk at source, prevent accident through higher penalties, and greater industry ownerships. The first goal that we set, that was 2005 and 2015. We call it WSH 2015. We say we want to reduce fatal from 2.9 all the way to 2007. And because of this revamp, we have did pretty well in reducing the fatality rate. In 2008, we came up with another new visions. We say by 2018, we want to achieve 1.8. And again, when times go by, things keep changing because more and more people are committed to drive safety and health together. It's not just the enforcement agency alone. In fact, it's all the stakeholders coming together. So you find that in those days, we call it the OECD, which is Organization for Economic Cooperation Developments. Singapore ranked number 18 in the world, having 3 yearly fatal rate of 2.6. In fact, 2 years ago, in 2018, we have managed to raise the position of 7th position of 3 yearly fatality rate of 1.4. In fact, last year, we also hit a quite low fatality, about 1.1. So looking at it, this now we are at the 7th position, 1.4. We tell ourselves by 2028, we want to move up to less than 1. It is definitely not an easy target. We believe we can do it with all the stakeholders coming together. Last year, you can see 2019, we actually 3 yearly average is 1.2, yearly itself is 1.1. We are quite consistent with our statistics. And one of the major challenges will be the construction fatality rates. You can see in 2010 is 32 cases. Today, last year, it's about 13 cases. If you can bring the construction fatality low and also transportation and storage, you find that actually the overall statistic will be going very low. So we got to be very focused on the industry. And in 2017, this is an important man that drive our occupational safety and health in Singapore. This is none to our Prime Minister Lee. In 2017, the 21st World Congress on Safety and Health at Work, he announced that we want to move to achieve less than 1 per 100,000 workers by 2028. This is again another new target for us to move on. And we have went very far. Back in 1998, there where we started a trip to UK to say that we want to implement design for safety. Until the day when we start to implement design for safety, that was 2016. It took us 16 years before Singapore can move to mandate design for safety. So it is definitely not an easy journey that a lot of people thought Singapore achieved. Managed to achieve less than 1.8 by 2018 is definitely many events have taken place, many works with all the stakeholders. And one of the important stakeholders you can see over here would none to be our commissioner. When he took over as a commissioner in 2005, you find that a lot of things has been changed and things are keep moving. So we have 2015 and 2005 strategy, 2008, 2018. But of course, if today we keep continuing to do the same things, it is important to know that we will never achieve the same result. So the mindset change is very important. This is one very famous saying by this Einstein. Insanity is doing something same again and expected different results. So in Singapore, we do things very differently because we believe in order to change the statistics, we have to do things very differently. How we do it? This is the conventional thinking process. The developer and designer is always think that safety is not too much of their concern. It's always down to the contractors. Safety is always pushed downstream to the contractors. So contractors really got to bear the whole junk of safety and health. Today we design for safety and vision zero. We are trying to flip icebergs. We want to let the developers and the designers start to think about how to design a safety and health problem upstream without pushing down to the contractors. If today we can able to do that, you find that the whole safety mindset have changed. This is in the past. Back in the 1990s, if you come to visit Singapore, we have scaffolding everywhere. And today, if you were to visit Singapore again, things have changed. We no longer using a lot of external scaffolds. We use a lot of safety screens, safety barricades at the highest floor without using the external scaffoldings. So these have actually reduced the working at height and falling from height risk as well. And again, we have changed the construction methods. We are now using PPVC, which is called prefabricated, pre-finished volumetric constructions, which means workers do not need to work at height. I mean, not too many workers need to work at height. They still need to work at height, but the number of workers has been reduced tremendously as compared to the earliest methods. So you find that the super heavy crane of 50 tons, 60 tons, 80 tons has been erected on site. And the Legos of this PPVC carcass and it's deliverable and they get it hoisted up. And of course, we create a lot of business for Malaysia as well. All these factories is all housed in JB. And all these carcass can be as heavy as 20, 30, 40 tons. Let's come back to design for safety. So we know that we need to do some changes. And we believe that if today the developers, designer, and contractors start to think and resolve safety upfront, that will create a lot of downstream, less downstream challenges. And you need to select the right designer and right contractor to do the right jobs. And you need to set project schedules. At the same time, how this design for safety review can be conducted by developers. But of course, in Singapore, we have some special arrangement in the sense that if the developers are not able to conduct the review meetings, they can appoint this person called design for safety professional. Identify the design risks, communicate, and prepare the design plans, and update the design for safety register in short. These are the 8 key points in design for safety in Singapore. And to actively inculcate the mindset in designer, and we believe that all these injury, ill health, at work are preventable, and apply design for safety concept to address all these risks at the planning, design stage of engineering projects. So planting a seed is very important to all the designers to make them change the way they design, the way they select all the design methods. And ultimately, we are focusing on the people, and we should never put people at unnecessary risk. So this is the Workplace Safety and Health already gazetted mandate in Singapore in 2015, effective in 2016. And these are the few keywords that we will use to come across if you come to Singapore, talk about design for safety. There will be people sharing with you the Guide 1, Guide 2, and Guide 3. What is it actually for? Guide, basically, this is a short form. You group stakeholders together, you make them understand the design concepts, you identify the risk, and of course, you design around the risk that you can. If you can eliminate, that will be the best. If not, reduce to as low as reasonable practicable. Then enter all this information into a register. We call it Design for Safety Register. So in short, this is GUIDE. So Guide 1, 2, and 3 review at the different stages. Guide 1 is basically concept design. Guide 2 is detailed design. And Guide 3 is pre-construction review. Before you start to construct, you should review whether you can construct, what kind of method you want to use, what kind of manpower, what kind of machines. You need to have this in mind before you start to tender for the projects. And this for design and build, normally Guide 2 and 3 will be coming together. So looking at it now, if we can influence design for safety at the conceptual stage. That will be ideal. Why? Because you have plenty of time and it's just basically a thinking process. You just have to change your thinking process. It didn't cost you a lot of money. Yeah. But you hesitated and you push it downstream. When all the designers come on board, that's why your architects, CNS engineers, M&E, you still can make changes. Why? Only thing that need to click and unclick those buttons or drawings. That also it is still possible. But do not wait until contractor come on board. Why? Because they will be a bit late. The contractor already tendered for the projects. Or the pricing has been locked in. I'm sure the developer do not want any variation orders and extension of times. So the design for safety is always upfront planning, not push it down to the contractors. So we have guide 1. Guide 1 will be ideal, that will be your best, the inference, followed by your guide 2, and of course, least inference will be your guide 3. So just take examples. For example, let's say today we want to build external green wall facade. And let's think about it. If you have a green wall facade, this is external of the building. Likely there will be a falling from height, raise and hazards. And this designer actually have thought through. He's designed a wall system that you can rotate, that you do not need to work or maintain the greenery outside the buildings. That will be the best. This is what we say, the concept design. You should have thought of it and factor into your design. Rather, after you have built this, you start to think about how to maintain. It can be very hazardous. We have covered the design for safety in short, and now we are moving towards this Vision Zero. Yeah. So Vision Zero is not new to everybody. If you Google and start to look around, actually it started as early as 1997, where it started in Sweden. That's where the road safety policy and improving the outcomes. And in those days, if you can see back in the early 90s, the number of accidents they have in the car accident is tremendous. And their Vision Zero started to say that it can never be ethically acceptable that people are killed or seriously injured when moving within the road or transport system. I'm sure nobody wants to drive and make some accidents. So that is a very important concept. When the design for, the Vision Zero start, it is not right to do something unethically. So after that, of course, there are many versions of Vision Zero come on board. We find that we have this ISSA that came in, and also during the 21st World Congress for Safety and Health 2007, they have this Vision Zero as well, and they have launched internationally, and they call it the 7 golden rules for Vision Zero, for those who are familiar. Rule number 1, take leaderships. 2, identify the hazards. 3, define the targets that you want to set. Ensure a safe and healthy system. Ensure safe and health in machine, equipment, and workplace. Improve qualification, invest in people. This is the version of Vision Zero for ISSA. And of course, they also visited Singapore, and we managed to have a conversation with them. You can see Mr. Chan is there. He's taking the lead in the conversation. I was also being invited to join for the conversations. And if you go through the website, you can actually join them to take some pledge, and also you can also sign up yourself to be a trainer if you want to be a Vision Zero trainer. And let's look back to Singapore's version of Vision Zero. In 2015, we have actually launched this during the National Workplace Safety and Health campaigns. With this message, I can prevent all injury and be healthy at work. So this is very important because that is a commitment. We want everybody to commit, to have this belief. And why? Because life matters, really. We can only live once. So in Singapore version, we have total 6 steps as compared to the 7 golden rules you can I shared earlier. The third step, number 1, is make a commitment. Step number 2, set a goal. Step number 3, communicate the goals. And of course, identify the challenges, find solutions, review and monitor the progress. I want you to focus on setting the workplace safety and health goals, because that's where it is important. If today we can talk and talk, if there's no actions, That is a problem. And in Singapore, we are really serious about setting all these performance indicators. When we say we want to do something, we really want to spend a lot of effort and resources to do it. In 2005, the Workplace Safety and Health 2015 versions, we say we want to achieve from 4.9, drop all the way to 2.5, and we achieved 1.9 instead. In 2008, we came up 2018 targets. We say we're going to reduce by 1.8, and we achieved 1.2. And of course, with all this improvement, that's where the 2017, our Prime Minister Lee have actually announced that we want to achieve less than 1 by 2028. We believe we can do it together. And of course, if you align between the ISSA Vision Zero, Singapore Vision Zero, and Design for Safety, actually, it aligns to each other's. It depends how you really package it, align it, and all promote the same things. We want to make people going home safely. We want to reduce the fatality rate. And not only that, we believe in sharing as well. So we actually also invite a lot of these our ASEAN partners to come in together to sign a pledge. And all these are the professional institutions from within the ASEAN, the YAFIO. You find that after signing this pledge, we are aligning ourselves between our ASEAN partners. We are moving together to promote this Vision Zero together. It is a very holistic way. And in Malaysia is taking it very serious as well. And they have already came out this guideline on occupational safety and health in construction management. They call it OSH. And Mr. Omar Osman himself is pushing it very aggressively. And I think this is one way to move along. And Design for Safety, we are not doing it alone. Like what I say in Singapore, we also want to share our experience to our ASEAN members to make everybody benefit, because we believe one is just too many. And with this, we believe that we can do it together towards the sustainable development journey. And with this, I thank this organizer and co-organizer, and also the MOM and the council for sharing all these informations. And thank you. Thanks for your listening. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Very
Thank you.
cool. All right. So what I heard just now, we know that Vision Zero and 7 Golden Rules. So of course, for Malaysia, we have OSHP. So just
Yes.
now, Tuan Omar also forced in Malaysia this. All right, guys, from the floor, any question from here? Just now we have one question from Mr. Jagan. He want to get your approval. This slide, will be can be sharing for everyone later.
In fact, all these slides and pictures, I have spoken to the authority for verbally to allow me to do a presentation, not for circulation. In fact, all this information, they can go to the Workplace Safety and Health Council of Singapore. It's all there. All the information is there.
Right. So, any question from the floor? For Mr. Jason?
Mr. Jason, can I ask you a question?
Sure, sure.
I am Jimmy. I'm also from Singapore.
Oh, from Singapore, okay.
Yes, maybe I'll just share my video for me. So, yeah, again, actually, thanks for your insightful information. I think it's very good. I'm actually working with a manufacturer in construction, and I see a lot of valid points, because a lot of things like myself, I push is health and safety. But then at the same time, you mentioned about this developer part. What have we been doing, to influence the developers? Because I think that is still one of the major hurdles that we don't see yet in the whole so-called value chain, that we get them involved.
As you have also noticed that we implement Design for Safety in 2016. So we are talking about coming to 4 years. Yeah. How developer play a role, I think is important. The reason because developer is the one who create the design risk. They are the one who actually created it. But at the same time, they create jobs and opportunities. I always tell people, you cannot just implement or just do safety alone. Why would there is safety? Because that's work. But we have to protect our worker to make sure we work safely. So developer can play a few parts, of course. One, of course, they give enough time and resources. If today a developer understands this project needs 3 years to complete, he shouldn't expect 2 years to complete it. If we expect this project to have more resources, why? Because this project is going to have basement, and you expect certain budgets, certain construction safety to be included. He should provide such information and budgets for the contractors. But of course, by providing the resources, actually they play a very important role already, because ultimately, very frank, everything is about resources. Yeah, but we're facing a lot of challenges because we don't have resources. We always short of time. We do not have budgets to implement good safety system and design. So if today, if this has been understood by the developers, they will provide enough time and resources for the designer. The designer will have this understanding to create a design that able to prevent some of these downstream challenges. For example, let's say if today a designer wants to design a buildings, you find that the building is very close to the next buildings, for examples. There's various ways to do it. Yeah, he can always do a setback. Why? Because it's too near to the building that's next door. He can always do a layout plan change to make sure that it's such a way that it's not too near. So all these without budgets and also design for safety consideration, a designer will never think that far. Basically, they will just accept whatever developer say what he wants. I want the gross floor area for how many, how many floor I need and how many units I need, that's all. But today, things have changed. Developer will talk to the designer, certain constraint, and they will very much want the designer to consider upfront now. As compared to the early days, you find the designer don't really involve much in design for safety, because they always think that safety is always contractor's issue. And this mindset, like what I say, is only been changed recently. It will take time to make all designers to realize ultimately every line that you drawn, every button that you click, you actually create design risk. But easy to say than done. Like what I said, we really need time for them to internalize design for safety. It's not just overnight things. Yeah. I hope I answer your questions.
Yeah, I think I get the reason, the key, why we need to do it, and also I think we can still connect offline to discuss how actually we are doing certain events or activities to reach out to developers to, get them more involved. I think, in developer-wise, the biggest in Singapore will be our own government, HDB, right? But on top of that, there will be also the private developers. So I think importantly, how can we bring everybody, to the same level?
That's why you find that why our Prime Minister Lee eventually bring 37 government agencies to pledge for design for safety. As you are right, all these big developers, all the government agency, they need to take the lead. By taking the lead, you find that of course private developer will come in as well, and it's all doing it together. In fact, you will find that the government sectors, there are many of these big developers, they're actually doing a lot of design for safety. Only thing maybe we are not aware because we're not involved, and it will be more, I would say, more obvious to you if you look through some of the tender spec and the tender requirement, because one of the design for safety means is actually through the tender specs. A lot of design for safety actually really spec inside the tender. Yeah, sure, we can share offline, no problem.
Right, thanks a lot, Jimmy. Actually, very good question. The next speaker will be, the topic will be related with your question. So the topic will be, as the client project manager, how do you ensure your contractor to implement an effective OSH policy? So it's connect with your question as well. Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. We still have another 3 minutes for the, Mr. Jason. Guys, you still have any question for Mr. Jason? So from the floor, any question for Mr. Jason? So if not any question, thanks a lot for everyone. And thanks a lot for Jason. again, thanks a lot from IOSH Singapore branch support us for this program. I believe that in coming next webinar, Zivan also will be attend this webinar speaker as well. And thanks a lot from Jason, JOH Safety Consultancy Singapore. And the slide for us, you need to refer for the website MOM, right? So, Jason, do you mind stop the share screen? Right, thanks, Jason. Still haven't stopped yet. Still haven't stopped yet. Jason haven't stopped your screen yet. All right, right. Thanks a lot. So, guys, let me warm welcome our third speaker. There's professional surveyor Teck Lee, past president Hong Kong Industry Safety Association. So, Mr. Teck Lee, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Thanks, Mr. Teck. So, do you mind share your screen?
Yes, and let me add few minutes to share the screen.
And no issue. So, Surveyor Teck Lee is a past chairman Hong Kong Industry Safety Association. I repeat again. And today his topic is, as the client project manager, how do you ensure your contractor to implement an effective OSH policy? It's very good question just now to lead our next paper. Yeah, we can see your screen really.
Yeah, you can see it. Good.
Yes.
Okay, let me to introduce this seminar.
All right, zoom out really. So the floor for you. Thanks.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Teck Lee, and I'm professional surveyor. And others professional is the past chairman of Hong Kong Industrial Safety Association, past chairman. And today, let me to introduce the speech, which is, as the client's PM, how do you ensure your contractor to implement an effective OSH policy on site? And this is very interesting and challenging topic. Okay, I will sharing my experience and sharing and past case and in this section. Before that, anyway, before start the speech, I would like to thank SRDI for giving me these opportunities to share my experience for all of you today. Okay. You see the PowerPoint and the project life cycle. Did you note what is the characteristic of the project life cycle? I think many people to say the project have the commencement day and the completion day and the duration and some scope of works, including with the client expectation. All is the base. As the good project, the base is meet the client requirement and meet the user the user requirement as well. It's not enough. And the good project is no any accident and zero injury in the site and in the project. So as the project manager, to carrying out the work is from cradle to grave. During course of work, as the project manager, just to very carefully to define the project excavation plan before start the project. One of the class is the risk identification. You see the risk identification is the middle of the PowerPoint. Because the risk, I think all people know that risk is cannot eliminate. Just only to mitigate, reduce, asset, transfer, extra. So I identify the risk from the very beginning is very important thing, and more than to any design scope and any the planning extra. So once everything is defined, the project delivery to the contractor to pricing the structure. We just to see the PowerPoint, the pricing structure, just for the reference only. Some not different contractor have different strategy for the pricing. But generally, direct cost and indirect cost just to 17 and 13%. But in the 30%, the indirect cost have 35% just to pricing in the profit of the risk. You know that 35% out of the 30% indirect cost, the risk is that only the total cost may or may be less than 10%. If the contractor award the contract, usually winning the bid is one pricing. This is a long. So contractor just to make more methods to make the profit. The first one things may or may be to deduct the intangible cost, safety, environmental, supervision, and extra. This is very, very dangerous. So if the related the cost of the safety, say the poor managerial skills and the not supervision on site to supervise the work, the danger is very occurred. And the lack of the planning, lack of the experience, defect and abortive in the workmanship, contractor financial difficult, and some material equipment is not available on site. It's always to occur the danger and accident on site. This is the cause. So as the project manager, from the very, very beginning, just to take the 7 steps. 7 steps is project manager function step. Forecasting. Forecasting just to ensure everything is feasibilities. Take the feasibility study, everything is sound and can do it. Just put, and the other thing is the planning. And find the right designer, find the right project manager to make the full planning and prepare the procurement method to select the right contractor is very important, because the contractor, the mindset and the culture behavior is not take the safety and health in the topmost concern, just everything is over. And how to prove it smoothly? Just to take the motivation. Motivation, say, may or may be the incentive or some recognition and some proactive message to the worker or frontline staff is very, very good enough. And not that only pay more salary upgrading. This is more than motivation. And the communication on site clearly, what you do, what we done, and what we expect is let them know what have do first. The sequence of work is very clear. The no abortive and no more danger will be occurred. Coordinating and controlling is also implemented on site to mitigate and eliminate and the accident. This is project management function 7 step. So if the accident or if the incident injury on site, the sufferer is the client. So the project may be delayed. Disruption. The client just to no other race, just to change any method to speed up the work. The danger may or may be occurred again and again. This is cycle. So the project cycle is very important thing in the safety and the safety and environmental issue. So simple construction project life cycle just to the everything from procurement, just the well design, well procurement, and well builder and selective right contractor, safety and environmental and health on site is very, very important thing. This picture to showing the pre-construction period is longer than the construction, because if I have a well-planned project, pre-construction, say the meeting, design, concept, and all things is well-planned, just put into the construction work. The construction work just build for design, not design and build, just build for design. Build for design, the abortive, any uncertainty may or may be eliminated and solved at the pre-construction stage. So we very highly recommend that using the pre-construction period and to well define the offerings before to start the work. But Hong Kong style or culture just always to use the design and build procurement method. One side design, one side build. Oh, this is very, very more real, more abortive and not meet the client expectation. And the other thing is danger. Danger, say the design is not fixed, just the contractor to build it just may or maybe for the 10 words or the force words. So the worst may be the danger and the worker is not aware the danger on site. So you see that this picture, the defining, planning, and executing. The start point is from the beginning, and I don't think so. This is a good plan. I just think the defining is finished. The planning can starting from the defining, but the executing just to after the defining. This is good planning and more appropriate and good timing for the work. This is my experience for the site to mitigating the work, mitigating the danger on site experience. So my company just to take the more proactive scheme for the contractor, ensure the contractor can more alert the safety and health on site. And from the Hong Kong government, the Pay for Safety scheme was conducted in 1996. So this is very mature, the scheme in the Hong Kong. The financial is rewarded. The Pay for Safety scheme estimated to be between the below to 2% for the contract sum. If the safety can involve below the 2%. And I suggest to take enhance the percentage to the project. Let the contractor have the enough budget to carrying out the safety. This is Hong Kong government. This is Hong Kong government scheme, and for your reference only. CON is my construction department, and I just a construction department and project manager. And just demanded the contractor to manage the safety under the park. I have been working in the theme park over 25 years, so I'm very familiar the park, the operation. and very familiar the contractor the behavior. The contractor carrying out the work in the park is not similar on the other side, because the park is take the daytime to share to the daytime operation. So all contractors just carrying out the work at the night time. So the danger level is higher than the normal site. So the contractor just to always to alert the job description and the job nature before in the pre-construction stage before to start the work. So our company, our department just to push just to put the PFS, Pay for Safety scheme in the management tool. Is a management tool to enable to effective the safety management by the OPC's Ocean Park, just the project manager. It is developed for the enabling the proactive safety management to be initiated by the contractor instead of reactive the rectification measure to taking after the malpractice is noted by the construction. This is village safety report. Once the contractor awarded, the contractor just to take the road to submit the safety report weekly or daily to ensure they according with the safety scheme, the item work well and work done. This is item-wise the daily inspection report. And sometimes the contractor just showing the morning beef, two bottles, and the contractor's the site inspection, the safety, ensure everything in order for the submission attached in the daily report is also included. The main point of the Pay for Safety content, the qualified the safety requirement, just examples, numbers of joint the safety inspection. The tender just to require the contractor to make the joint inspection during the course of the project. Say the 1 month have the two numbers of the joint safety inspection to meet the tender requirement, and separate the scheme, separate the schedule of the safety item to be provided in the BQ of the rate. Detailed items and cost breakdown is also say how many numbers of tops and record for the workers on site. The safety management performance measurement and say the meal practice noted during the curtain period is also noted. The important thing is the Pay for Safety scheme is management tools only, which should not rely the contractor's responsibility to observe the statutory requirement and manage their work safety under contract. This is the important thing. And make the example for easy reference, say from the traditional BQ item, the Pay for Safety scheme, just to one item for the lump sum. Say the contract sum is 3 million. The 1% for the Pay for Safety scheme, the lump sum item is 30,000 for the project is carrying out the 2 months. Once the contractor no injury, no any accident, you just to pay all the lump sum, no any deduction for them if they cannot meet the 1 or 2 items. So the BQ with the Pay for Safety scheme, we just to modify it, the timely submission to the daily or safety inspection and the rectification report by the safety supervisor. Say 500 times 30. 15,000, and other item just if low accident record, you just to release the 15,000 to the contractor as well. This is traditional item, one item to pay for them. And just we modify the item to break down just to take the one time the inspection, just to pay the inspection is no any defect found during the inspection, just to release the 2013 for the safety checking, and the others item is breakdown in the quantified easy to add or less during the inspection scheme. After that, just we use the instruction to cover the add or less the pay for safety scheme for the fair basis. Let the contractor alert if you low carrying out the safety scheme. Just the payment will be deducted from in the contract sum. This is my presentation in the plot and sharing my experience to all of you. Hope can safety work on site as well. Thank you.
Right, thanks a lot for Surveyor Teck Lee. So
yes.
The BQ is very important.
Yes,
from
sure.
here, I believe that a lot Malaysian also here, so I can share with you guys. CIDB, they have a BQ latest guideline we call CIS 27 in 2019. We have come out this guideline for BQ. So you guys can go up CIDB website and download it. It's free.
Yes.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
from the floor, Mr. Lee, thanks a lot. The floor, they have one question so far. It's from Mr. Ong. So Mr. Ong, can you unmute your mic? So Mr. Ong, the question is based on your experience, what is the right safety budget in terms of percentage of project contract sum? Mr. Ong, are you here? I think it's okay. Mr. Lee, you can go ahead for the question. Do you mind?
Your question is how to define the percentage that is good enough for the contract sum. This is your question. If
right.
Yes.
For the safety budget.
Yes. From the planning and forecasting stage, the senior management just to put plan the project overall the budget for this project, and a one of the important things just to the intangible cost, say the safety management cost and initial cost, time worth. This is following the project manager, the experience and the project nature have the different percentage as well. Say the project is say the large infrastructure to build the water well. To build the water well is over the many billion. So the 1% is very light amount. Say maybe the 0.5 is good enough to the safety. And say the project is more skill, say some renovation work or some alternative modification work, maybe the amount is below 1 million. 1 million, you just to say the 1% just to 10,000 is too small. Upon the one supervisor is over 20,000 on site. So maybe just to make more, to let them have interest and let them have the more incentive to the contractor to alert and aware the safety. So just to very rely on the project manager, the project nature, and some condition. Thank you.
Right. Have another one question for Mr. Ong again. The question is PFSS progress payment been audited by external party?
by other party.
All right, external party.
This is Hong Kong government just to engage all responsibility client to take this pay for safety scheme to contractor, let them have a incentive to and motivate them have get more alert and more and more concerned the safety on site. So I think it's more appropriate for other party and more appropriate for the client side. I highly recommend this is PFSS is a put in the legislation and that all client must included in the tender for the pricing, for the contractor pricing, a one-off pricing item. So I recommend this is put in the other company to do it. Yes, this is good.
Right. So Mr. Ong, is it okay for the answer? From the floor, anyone? Do you have any question? All right.
Okay.
We believe that we have another 2 minutes time. The last question from the floor is, Mr. Lee, at what stage do you think introduce the PFSS process to the contractor? What stage do you introduce the PFSS process to the contractor? During contractor qualification, after contract signature with your contractor. Example, safety kick-off meeting.
And from the beginning, we always to use the selective procurement, selective tendering method. We select the contractor for the rating. If the contractor last or previous the experience for the safety is poor, we just to mark the performance is the rating is lower. They cannot do pricing or cannot to attend our other projects on the park. So our contractor list, all contractor is well record in the safety and the health. This is one thing. And the other thing, just suddenly have the accident for the one on-site, the contractor can, if the contractor carrying out all precaution methods and demonstrate them have due diligently to mitigate, diligently to fix it, and accident is accident. So the pay for safety scheme may or may be not less in the contract sum. Just to make the board and the safety panel to assess this case is the negligence from the contractor, or they not, or just the may or may be act of God, or may be just the contractor have the percentage to take the responsibility. So, or less than percentage the pay for safety scheme, the amount in the contract sum. This is the second thing. Just this is my answer.
All right. I think I would like to invite Jason again to share how we still have another 2 minutes time. So, Jason, can you come in, Jason? So, share how DFS can be benefit from the safety budget, because I believe that Jason, you have this idea as well from Singapore. Hi, Jason. Jason, you still mute.
Okay. I think
Hello.
hello.
Yeah.
Jason, yeah, can hear you.
Yeah, just to share, in fact, this safety budget is not new in Singapore as well. We have been talking for many years. And why the safety budget was not kicked off in Singapore in early days? Because we always believe safety is part of operational. It's very hard to differentiate between what is safety and what is operational. If you were to visit some of the big companies, they always do not think safety have a budget, because safety is part of the operationals. So for design for safety, how we tackle these safety budgets portions, what we do is that during our Guide 1 and Guide 2's review, all the mitigation measures proposed by the designers are already put inside the checklist. So when the contractors tender for the projects, the contractor will go through the Guide 1, Guide 2, and Guide 3 checklist and sign off. When the contractor sign off the checklist, it's deemed that the contractor will implement the proposed control measures by the designers already budgeted in. So we don't have this budget issue, so to speak, because no matter what kind of budgets you put it in to a developers, it's always a money. But if you put it part of the operational, part of the safety, as part of the design, it is a whole package. So you start to differentiate, you have a lot of challenges. So design for safety is a very holistic way of doing safety, in the sense that it's part of the design works. That's why the designer got to identify all these design risks upfront and put into their detailed designs, and not wait for the contractor to come in and start to say, hey, this one need budgets, this one need budgets, you know, it never ends. Yeah, that's my sharing.
So thanks, Jason. All right, I believe that we are time's up. Thanks a lot again for Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
Surveyor Teck Lee, so from past Hong Kong Industry Safety Association, past chairman. So thanks a lot your paper. All right, for the floor, I didn't know any question really. Do you mind, Mr. Lee, stop to share your screen?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So guys, would like to invite Mr. Raymond Wat from Singapore, Regional General Manager, International Power Access Federation, I call IPAF. So, Mr. Raymond, are you here? Raymond, let me check out. Oh, not this, Lee, not this one.
Oh, no, okay.
You go to the top.
Stop. Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks. Raymond, are you here, Raymond?
Yeah.
Raymond, I saw you, Raymond.
Yes.
Yeah, ready?
Okay. Can I hear you, Raymond?
Okay. Now I'm good.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Okay.
Oh, Raymond, for the floor for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Wait for me. Give me 1 minute. Sorry, Raymond. Because due to the give me 1 minute. Due to the technical issue, this webinar is only allowed 100. So you guys don't go out and try to come in again. I've already another guys come in. Once come in, you cannot be difficult. This trip will allow about 100 only due to the technical issue. Sorry about this. Remember, all right? And bear in mind, today we may have a EOT extension of time. We have a special guest later, all right, for Hong Kong. See you later. All right, Raymond, follow your floor.
Great, thank you so much. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right. First of all, I have to thank the organizer for inviting us, International Power Access Federation, to share on this topic. Let me just explain a little bit about our association. IPAF is founded in 1983, so we are a not-for-profit organization. The aim is to promote the safe and effective use of power access internationally. Right. So now the question is, does anyone that supervise, plan, and manage the use of a mobile elevating work platform need to be trained and competent? So let us take a look at most of the prominent, international standards, and most of it say yes, in the sense that let us take a look at this American standard. This is the latest revised American standard on safe use of mobile elevating work platform. So it says that
And they also define on the supervisor role, an entity assigned by the user to monitor, operator performance and supervise their work. Basically, someone who supervise one or more MEWP operators is considered a supervisor by this American standard, and is now required to have aerial lift safety training, not to train them on how to operate, but to train them on the hazard and also the characteristics of a mobile elevating work platform. So this is another standard, which is the BS standard in 2017. They also have included that supervisor need to understand the principle of a mobile elevating work platform operation, hazard associated with mobile elevating work platform, have the knowledge of pre-use check. Even though they are not operating, but it is crucial that the supervisors or anyone who are managing the use of a mobile elevating work platform to be trained and also competent in this information. For Singapore standard SS616, it also says that the stakeholders' duty and responsibility is to ensure that any employee who supervise or manage the use of a mobile elevating work platform is competent in the method which can be adopted when using the MEWP, any risk that entails, and also precautions that need to be taken. So it's very clear that a number of international standards says that it's necessary for anyone who plan, supervise, and manage mobile elevating work platform, not necessarily operating it, to be trained and also competent. But we have a lot of question out there, is that we are just supervising. For example, I'm just supervising, I do not operate. Why do I need to be trained? So selecting, because most of the time, the people who select the use of MEWP are not the operator themselves, because the operator are only there to carry out the work. So it's normally the supervisor or the manager are the ones who select the MEWP and send it to site, and that's where the workers start to use it. And it's not as easy as just knowing the height required. So for example, you can see on this screen here is that the two operators up there, because it's just not the right machine to be used, it can be, we can just replace it with a boom lift, or we can just get on the right side a little bit higher will do. But because of this, if we select the wrong, because if I'm the supervisor or manager and I do not have the knowledge, I select the wrong type or a little bit shorter, and I will actually put my colleagues, my workers, to go on to take this risk for me, in the sense that they say that it's just 1 to 2 meters more and we can do the job. If I'm going to stop the job, if I'm going to tell my management that they got me the wrong machine and then I have to wait for the next machine, you know, the schedule might be late, and we are actually causing our workers or our colleagues to actually take the risk and go out on this kind of unsafe way to complete the job. Same for this as well. And this is if we have an encounter at site where we are trying to move a scissor lift up onto the next higher level. If I do not have the knowledge of mobile elevating work platform, I would simply use wooden plank, which is because this is how we do things in construction site. But because we are not, because I may not be trained and I do not have the knowledge, I would not have think that the scissor lift or the MEWP are so heavy. For fall protection, everyone knows, as long as you are on a lift, you have to put on fall protection. Because about this. But now the question is, if I'm not informed, so I'm the manager or the supervisor at the site, so which one do I choose for my worker? The one on the left, full body harness with a twin lanyard. This is normally used in a scaffold, a big carabiner, a big scaffold hook with 2 lanyard and a shock absorber plus a long, maybe 1.5 meter long. Or do I use the one on the right, which is full body harness and adjustable lanyard? Of course, this is the shock absorber and with the smaller hook. So which one do I use? Or should I ask, does it matter? So everyone is using the 1.5, 1.2 or 1.6 meter long, or even what some use up to 2 meter double lanyard at site. Nothing goes wrong, right? So Germany counterpart actually have done this mock-up using a dummy. So this is just a very small ram that you can see over here. And the boom lift is being the ram. This is using on the left side, which is the full body harness and a long lanyard. Let's take a look at another dummy that so actually now we all see that it's either a fall arrest or a fall restraint for protection. So can we agree that the fall restraint is much more appropriate? Let's take a look at this, which is a real case. So if we are using a fall restraint lanyard, so it means that the operator will never be thrown out. And when the operator will not be thrown out, he will not have the hazard of hitting himself. And also he will not be put at risk of this suspended trauma as well. So it's clear and it's understand that why the fall protection should be a fall restraint to make it as short as possible to restrict the operator from being thrown out of the platform. So if I'm not being informed and I know nothing about all this information, so I will not be able to do a good job in protecting my colleagues at site. Same for this. This is cordoning at site. I think everyone knows how to cordon off.
Na internetu se pojavila stravična snimka incidenta koji se istina dogodio prije 2 do 3 godine, no slika sigurnosnih kamera i danas je zapanjujuća. Na autocesti kod Ogulina radnici Telefon gradnje popravljali su kvar. Ondje su došli kamionom opremljenim košarom u koje se radnik podigao na visinu od oko 5 metara. Na snimci se vidi kako automobili normalno voze, a u jednom trenutku naletio je autobus koji je udario u košaru s radnikom. Košara se razletjela po kolniku, a radnik pao na tlo i završio tek s prijelomom zdjelice.
The baseline. So once again, if I'm the manager supervisor and I do not know about all this mobile everything platform, will I be able to do this kind of good risk assessment and safe work procedure? And a rescue plan is also necessary. So it's also important for anyone that do the activity plans, advice, must be able to also do a rescue plan. Just like in this case, it's very lucky that the operator have basically noticed that they are using for arrest for protection. So actually cause the operator to be out. And if they do not have a rescue plan or they do not have anyone below at the base knowing how to bring the operator down, you will have to wait and you might go into a suspended trauma that is going to definitely risk life. So it's good that you have a rescue plan, and you can see how fast this operator is being brought down by his colleague using the emergency lowering control at the base.
That's how you can lose a few pounds.
And falling object from MEWP, I think we all know that how are we going to prevent this? So there are supervisor or some said to say some safety officers see the problem and solve the problem. That is correct by using common sense, but at the same time, if I'm not aware of all this hazard that I can actually add on to the mobile elevating work platform, that will be very, very dangerous. For example, this is real cases. We have construction site safety team that put up suggestion and eventually was awarded with even recognized as a good suggestion. They decided to put up the netting. Some even put up aluminum sheet to cover the platform of the mobile elevating work platform, scissor lift and boom lift, thinking that by doing so, they are definitely going to help prevent any falling object from the platform. But as I mentioned, all this mobile elevating work platform, there is a wind load on it, so you can know that why the scissor lift are designed without anything beside is because you need the wind to pass through, so that the wind load on this machine will not topple the scissor lift. But by adding on things on the platform, this will cause very much high risk or a hazard to the platform, especially when it's on a windy day. So we have talked to quite a number of people, and some of them say that, oh, it's fine, we are not using outdoor, but not forgetting, if you're using in a warehouse and the warehouse door is open up, a gush of wind coming into the warehouse can actually topple this machine as well. And who can be so sure that if you have put up this and you're using it indoor and the next moment someone drive it outdoor without knowing that this is a hazard? So these are all very necessary to address, in the sense that whoever that manage, plan and supervise this machine must be informed and trained on all these characteristics of this machine. And there are machines out there that is accessories, I mean, which is approved by the manufacturers. These are an example of it. So previously, what you saw are makeshift solution to it. These are all by the manufacturers. But you will say manufacturers, if you get it from them, is expensive. There's a reason for it, because all these are factory approved and NC compliance. So it's actually tested within the standards. This might be a little bit disturbing. If you do not watch, please close your eyes for a while. I'm showing this with no disrespect to the victim or the family, but I want to show you that crushing hazard out there is high, we all know, if the safe work procedure and risk assessment are not done well. This operator is crushed. You can see how the workers are reacting. They do not know how to bring him down. Once again, fall back to the rescue plan. But now I'm not going to touch about rescue plan. I'm going to touch about solution, again, we have seen solution by supervisors, managers, and some safety professionals have add on very simple, innovative solution by putting 4 posts at the corner to prevent the scissor lift from hitting up on the roof. So the operator will not hit on the roof, but instead the pole will hit up on the roof or any overhead hazard if there is any. Once again, you see this is also covered, which is a makeshift. It's not approved by the manufacturers. So once again, if we are not aware of how the mobile elevating work platform is manufactured, we would, instead of removing a hazard, we are actually adding on to it. For example, you can see these 4 poles are actually metal poles tied at the 4 corners of the scissor lift and placed at the platform, the ground platform, the floor of the platform. And the floor of the platform are designed by the manufacturers without the consideration that 4 poles will be put at the corners, and without the consideration that once the 4 pole hit on to any overhead hazard, it will transfer the energy and hit onto the 4 corners, right? So this means that these 4 corners are not enforced with any stronger welding or materials, because the manufacturers, when they design, they have never designed in consideration that 4 poles will be up there. Same. They also did not design the platform thinking that there will be makeshift platforms and even a board on it. For example, all these are the anchor point. These are the anchor point where the operators actually hook on their lanyard. All right, so you can see all these anchor points are actually welded, enhanced welding compared to a normal welding. This is a normal welding. This is enhanced welding to make sure that the anchor point is able to take the load if there's a catapult effect. So same for the 4 corners platform. If anyone just place anything there, which the manufacturer designed without any consideration, it's very high risk that when the pole hit on to the overhead hazard or the ceiling for a few times, and that will degenerate or degrade the platform, the floor, board, and eventually it would cause a hazard as well. So manufacturers actually have solution to prevent crushing. So this is one of the few solution out there. There's a magnetic cable here. When the operator is being crushed, his body lean forward, this cable disconnected, it will stop the machine. And this is for the scissor lift. So once again, it's like a limit switch. So when the limit switch hit something, and it will actually be tilted and activate the stop of the machine as well. So we have to be very careful that whatever we add on to the machine we could be made liable instead. It's not that we are adding on to make it more safe, but when we add things on without the approval of manufacturers, it is considered a modification. You can see the author of the function, operating characteristic, control, stability, machine mass, increases the elevated mass. Anything that add on and changes any of this, it will be considered a modification. So when it's considered a modification, whoever that modify or changes or add on anything will resume the position of the will legally assume the responsibility of the manufacturer. So that means whoever have changed it, add on anything, modify anything, will be liable as manufacturer of that machine if any incident of the if there's anything wrong with the machine. So back to how do we get managers, supervisors to be competent, to be trained? Our association, International Power Access Federation, we have MUTS, we call it the MEWP manager or supervisor course. So inside this course, you will learn about the regulation, the standards, and the guidance, the type of machine, structure parts of the machine, operator training and formalization, the fall protection needed, of course the pre-use inspection and rescue plan, and the planning exercise, of course, and there will be a theory test as well. So we have both classroom-based and e-learning. So these are all available in Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. And just to show you this e-learning, this is a very new e-learning that we have just done up. Very, very good graphic. And do the module at your own time. This once again is for people that plan, buy, manage, the characteristics, the hazard of it, how far to stay away from power source. Very interactive exercise inside. Training the hazard, the functionality, characteristics. Shows the catapult effect. I think the person who managed them understand what kind of hazard they are dealing with when they are using it. Very, very high quality graphic and good, relevant exercise that can be done, interactive exercise inside the e-learning. Touching on the wind speed and also showing the funnering. And at the end of it, you will be assessed with 30 questions. So you got now 3 questions free. So you get to know the answer now. All right, this is our very new MUTS for Manager training course. And one good news is I'm offering it, or we are offering it free for now. The course, so if you do not need a certificate, you can go on to this course for free. If you need the course, please take a picture of this, my email address, send an email to me. I will hook you up with a training center and send you the e-learning link. So you can actually go up to do this course. Please bear in mind the end date is 29 May. Go up to do the course, and you can do it at your own pace. If there is no, if you do not need a certificate, it's totally free of charge. If you need a certificate, there will be some charges to it. So yes, please contact me if you need it. And last but not least, IPAF is a not-for-profit organization that promotes the safe and effective use of mobile and bilingual platforms. So if you want us to do a free MEWP safety talk for your organization, which is now a webinar, so let me know. You can also write to me. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Right, thanks, Raymond. So hopefully coming soon, you will come over Malaysia, we collaborate together. So
Great.
guys, this is a free training. It's very good. So please contact Raymond, or you guys can be contacted. Guys, mute your mic, please.
Aura kamera. Oh,
Raymond?
Yes.
Raymond, we have a few questions from the floor, all right?
Sure.
So let me one by one search. For other participants, please mute your mic, please. So for number one question from Cash, my old friend Cash. I think now currently he at Malaysia, Johor, right? The question will be, which type of lanyard with absorber or without absorber is advisable to use before the work on this MDWP?
Right. As I mentioned, a lot of us are using the wrong one, and at the present moment, we are using the 4 arrest type, which actually is long and it actually throw the operator out. So if you're using that, it's good to change it to a restraint one. If not, definitely you need a shock absorber for that, because the operator is going to be catapulted out of the platform and he will be suspended. And for the, if you talk about the 4 restraint lanyard, even though it's short, it's inside, you have a choice. In Singapore context, you have no choice, because in Singapore, SS616 is already say that it has to be a short lanyard plus a shock absorber. Whereas internationally, if you do not, if the country do not have a standard yet, IPAF generally says that you can have a short lanyard, because just a short lanyard without absorber. But of course, you can have an absorber as well. So it can or it may or may not come with a shock absorber if you are using a restraint for protection.
Right. Let me check. I believe that we have 3 questions just now I saw. Give me some minutes. For this is a Cash. Should Raymond already answer to you? So the next will be Simajit. So Simajit, the question will be, why all these limit or safety features are not compulsory for all the equipment, the MDWP?
So, sorry, why what again?
Why all these limits or safety features are not compulsory?
Not compulsory. I don't limit switch. Did I say it's not compulsory? What?
I believe this is from Malaysia. The limit switch all is compulsory.
Definitely, it's a must.
So, Mr. Simajit, are you here?
Maybe yeah, you can voice up your question again.
Yeah, Mr. Simajit. All right. So if no any question from Simajit, we go to the next. I think our time is up. We still allowed one more question from this is just now I saw one name mixed for a while. I think it's Michael Yap. Am I right? Michael, are you here?
Yeah.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, hi, I was saying it's a good thing. I think the question was, when you put asking how come your mills do not have the limit switch for those that are going upwards, where they cut off when they hit the structure, is it? So are these come together with the mills that supplied by suppliers in Malaysia?
Oh, okay. You're talking about the overhead hazard limit switch, right?
Yep,
the safety switch.
Yes, the safety switch.
Presently, because presently there are most of the machine out there do not have such accessories. So it's actually an add-on accessories for now, because there are some. It's a little bit of a history. When MDWP started back in the early days, there wasn't really much overhead crushing incident. So it was just back to this old school kind of inspection. When you're moving up, look up. When you're moving down, look down. When you're moving back, look back. So it's an old school kind of practice that a lot of people are doing. But with the past 5 to 8 years, there are more and more cases of operator being crushed. That's why from then onwards, manufacturers come together and they also come up with a solution. Some are physical, actually cage barricade that they come up with, and also they come up with these some of the latest one was a sensor, and then the other one is actually like a cable when they are being crushed on, or a button when they are being crushed towards the emergency button. It will stop the movement of the MEWP. But all these three, even though put together, it's not a one solution. So until now, there is no one solution that is able to prevent this mobile elevating work platform from getting the operator to be crushed. That is why there is no one coming out to say that it is a must for all the machine to be armed with this at this very moment. But of course, we understand that the newer machine coming out from the factory are fitted with this, but the rate of replenishing this machine is not as fast as what is happening.
Yeah, new version.
Yes.
All right, guys, thanks a lot for the question. I believe that we still have a couple of questions at the chat room there. Raymond, do you mind after this use your time to answer them from the chat room, because we run out of time?
Sure. So answer from the chat or answer from the chat?
Answer from the chat there.
Okay.
Right. So for coming up next, guys, actually thanks a lot for Raymond Wat. All right, our Regional General Manager, International Power Access Federation, IPAF. So thanks a lot for the topic. This topic is very good for us, and currently they have this free program. So kindly contact Raymond. All right. So what's next? The next, we have a special guest today. IR Professor Vincent Hall, our old friends, close friend. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hong Kong. All right. How are you, Vincent?
All right. How is everyone?
Yeah. All right. So, Vincent, I would like to give you the floor, make some closing, and share something from you. Do you mind?
Great. Thank you for everyone coming here this Saturday morning. And thank you, KK, for hosting the talk in a Hawaiian beach. I can see the palm tree and sea wave behind you. That's excellent view. But I'm sitting in my home. I'm stuck in here. I think today, this morning, we saw 4 prominent speakers who are expert in the field. And very lovely to have Engineer Haji Omar to start off the discussion and lay out the foundation of safety that we must have a professional conduct, being an OSH practitioner. And Jason has taken us to a new height of building the safety culture using the Vision Zero approach, that preventive is really the build-up of how we look for safety. And like Jason put out, all OSH accidents are preventable. And then we heard from Surveyor Dick Lee to talk about how Hong Kong is doing the pay for safety design. And finally, we saw Raymond teaching us a very, very practical example application of design for safety, how we actually put in the practical way. I think this morning, everybody looked from different perspectives of what design safety is about. I'm going to share just a quick moment of the screen of why we're looking into this. So I hope you're looking at the screen now. All design safety is actually falling back to your basic foundation of hierarchy of risk control, that we want to design things away to eliminate it, as you see from different examples of what Raymond has put out, that if you cannot do that, you need substitution, isolation, and engine control, and all this stuff. Most of the time, people jump directly to PPE, and I think Raymond put it nicely that you have all kind of this engine system, but if you don't use your mind to think carefully, the system may actually become hazardous. So we must be carefully to do risk assessment to eliminate the hazards and go through this list. If you think back, why are we doing this webinar? It's mostly because of COVID-19 that we're all stuck at home. But on the other hand, if there's no risk, there's opportunities. Without these Zoom lectures, I think it's very difficult for everybody to draw together from different parts of the world. If you look at this design for safety, actually put back in perspective, how do we do that? as a COVID-19, the coronavirus. If we put in perspective using the switch cheese model, we basically follow exactly what safety is about. While we're looking at health and hygiene risk, you have this organization control, system, engineering designs, all these stuff to PPE. Every layer is like a sweet cheese as a whole. How they get to us, there's some fail in between. So for us, OSH practitioner, look at design for safety, must look at how we design every single aspect, not just engine control, but even down to PPE. How do we design a better system to handle these COVID-19 hazards? It's not just wearing a face mask. We can actually put our heads together and look at design issues. For example, in what MTEL has done is we use PCO, silver titanium, silver coating to spray on our engineering systems like handrail in escalator. That itself will kill the virus, giving a light activation PCO. So that is sort of like what engineer and OSH practitioner can meld together and come back with this. Another nice design is we learned from SARS time is purely design issue. We used to have a toilet door, a door to the restroom, but after SARS we find out that the handle is really an element or medium of exchanging virus. So we take the door away. I think most places are doing that too. So people can walk into the restroom without touching anything. So that is a element of design. So moving forward, another design that we can do even to COVID-19 is, why don't we design something nice like a robot to clean stuff? So we have this hydrogen peroxide silver coating robot that will take out to dangerous places that may be infected with the diseases, and that can clean the car bodies and all this stuff. So not trying to sell stuff, but just go back to this switch cheese model. Look at all that we looked about. Is every aspect. We as an OSH engineer, a practitioner, follow Omar's approach, Jason's approach, Dick's approach, and Raymond's approach. We need to put our heads together how to make the society safer for the next step. So I think this nicely close out. Hope everybody stays safe and stay healthy. I'm going to go back to stop sharing. Give the floor back to KK to introduce the upcoming seminar on the June 6th.
All right. Thank you, Vincent. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot from Vincent, our special guest. So you guys can be see this webinar we are doing every month. We have one. And every first Saturday, we target it in 10 a.m. But maybe coming soon, we're going to put it on evening about 4 p.m. because we have invited IOSH UK to give a paper as well. So depends on them. We're still waiting their response. So for the next webinar will be 6th of June, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. But currently, we may going to extend the time a little bit. Maybe to 1, right? Because a lot of questions we haven't answered fully. From the speaker, we have from Malaysia, Deputy Director General of DOSH. We call that Azari bin Tola. And we have Director of the Hong Kong FTU Retraining Center, Professor Wong Jin Mei. And from Singapore, IOSH branch as well, Executive Committee Member, Mr. Stephen Chan. And the last will be Mr. Jackie Leong, NDT, Technical Manager, Material Tech. All right, guys, from here you can see the QR scan. You can use this QR scan, use your camera, take a picture. So from there, you can log in for registration next webinar. Either you guys for free, or you want to request for the certificate CPD or CEP, you need for pay. All right, from the top, you can see, so contact us. All right, this is the office at SRDI Hong Kong, and this is my name, and this is my email address, and my personal contact number. If you're facing anything problem, technical issue, you can contact me by WhatsApp. Thanks a lot, everyone. Hello.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
My screen is
See you next month, guys.
See you guys. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sure that the technical issue with the Zoom will be fixed next month.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. CM Hon. And everyone, anything you have question, you can email us or give me a WhatsApp.
Sorry, KK. Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Yes, Raymond.
Yeah. You asked me to reply on the chat, but if everyone left.
Oh, okay. I left already.
It's okay. Maybe I show
if they are interested, then we're going to email you. I believe that.
Sorry.
I believe all the video, and you'll be at manager e-learning. I see from there. Once they register, they will be get from you.
Yeah, but when I reply it on this chat, they will not be able to receive, right?
Yeah, if they quit, we need no more.
Right?
Once they go out this group, we need no more.
Oh, so.
All right.
Hello.
Guys, yeah, Tato Kana from
Mr. Vincent Ho.